Okay, so today we're going to tackle a question that sounds super simple, but is actually one of the trickiest ideas in cultural studies. What exactly is popular culture? I mean, we use that phrase all the time, right? We talk about movies, music, TV shows, memes. It feels so obvious. But as we're about to find out, the second you try to pin down a really solid definition, the whole thing gets very, very slippery.
And get this, some academics, like Tony Bennett, have basically said the term is so messy it's almost useless. So this isn't just about a simple definition. We've got a genuine intellectual mystery on our hands. Why is it so hard to define?
Well, according to the cultural theorist John Storey, the biggest problem is that we never really define popular culture on its own terms. We're always, whether we realize it or not, defining it by what it's not. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. Is popular culture the opposite of high culture, like opera and fine art? Is it different from some kind of authentic folk culture? Or is it maybe a rebellion against the dominant culture? You see, depending on which other you pick, the meaning of popular culture totally flips. So let's put on our detective hats and investigate the main theories. We'll treat them like clues in our little mystery here.
Okay, theory number one. This is the most common sense one. Popular culture is, well, it's popular. It's the stuff that a whole lot of people like and enjoy. Seems pretty straightforward, right?
This view is all about the numbers. If it sells millions of albums or smashes the box office, bam, it's popular culture. But wait a minute. Here's the problem. Shakespeare's plays sell out huge theaters all over the world. Van Gogh exhibits have massive lines. So are they popular culture or high culture? See, the definition already starts to crumble. All right, so if the numbers don't work, let's try theory two. This one takes a totally different angle. It basically says that popular culture is all the stuff that's left over after we've picked out the high culture. It's the cultural leftovers. So picture this. Some group of cultural gatekeepers decides what qualifies as great art, and everything else just gets tossed into the popular culture bin. Now, the key thing to realize here is that this isn't a neutral definition at all. It's super elitist. It's built on a value judgment, defining something by what it supposedly lacks.
Okay, let's move on to our third theory, which is a really common critique you hear a lot. This one sees popular culture not as a matter of taste, but as a product of how it's made.
This is the idea that pop culture is just a commodity, something churned out by giant corporations for a passive, easily fooled audience. It's seen as formulaic, manipulative stuff. But the massive problem with this theory? It totally underestimates us, the audience. It acts like we're just cultural zombies, when in reality, people are constantly playing with, interpreting, and finding their own unique meanings in all this stuff. And now, for a complete 180. Theory 4 says popular culture isn't forced on us from above by corporations. Nope. It says it bubbles up authentically from below, from the people. This is a much more romantic idea, right? Popular culture as the true, authentic voice of the people. But it raises some really tricky questions, like who exactly are the people? And in our super commercial world, can you really draw a clean line between what's authentic and what's commercial? It gets messy fast. So we're at a bit of an impasse, aren't we? We've checked out 4 major theories, and every single one has a serious flaw. It's not just what's popular, it's not the leftovers, it's not just mass-produced junk, and it's not purely from the people. So what on earth is it? The answer, it turns out, is to stop trying to think of popular culture as a thing and start seeing it as a process, a dynamic, constant struggle over meaning, a battlefield. Now, to really get this, we need to bring in a huge idea from an Italian thinker named Antonio Gramsci. And that idea is hegemony. Hegemony isn't just about ruling by force. It's about leading through culture. It's the way that the ideas and values of the most powerful groups in society get presented as just normal, as common sense, and they win our consent without us even noticing there was a fight. So here's where it all clicks into place. Popular culture is the main battlefield for hegemony. It's the place where those common sense ideas are spread around. But it's also the exact same place where they get resisted, challenged, and remixed by everyday people. It's this constant push and pull. This brings us all the way back to our big question. Now that we're thinking about culture as this ongoing struggle, what's the final answer to our mystery? What is popular culture? And here it is, the big reveal from our source, John Storey. The ultimate answer is that there is no single fixed answer. Popular culture is, in his words, an empty conceptual category. Its meaning is never locked down. It all depends on the context and who's using the term.
Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like a total cop-out, doesn't it? But actually, it's the most powerful insight of all. The very fact that its meaning is always up for grabs is precisely what makes popular culture such an incredibly important and powerful force in our world.
So what's the big takeaway here? First, stop looking for one easy definition, because it doesn't exist. Second, start seeing popular culture as this battlefield of ideas. When you pay attention to it, you start to see the hidden power dynamics of our whole society in action. It's the place where social control is exercised, but it's also where resistance is born.
And that leaves us with one final thought. The next time you watch a blockbuster movie, listen to a hit song, or watch a meme take over the internet, don't just consume it. Ask yourself this question: who is fighting for meaning here, and whose terms are winning? Because when you start asking that, you're no longer just a passive consumer. You're an active, critical reader of the fascinating culture that's all around us.